Guys, I thought honestly that we close this chapter, you know, we can move on of exposing a senile, grumpy grandpa here.
F yourself.
But obviously I have to come back for one more video.
Mr. Body Catcher, Slaughter Gang Soul Snatcher. Ain't no regular F-150, this a fucking rapper. No capper, street nigga, not a rapper. Chopper hit him in.
Gotta go? Okay, alright. Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye.
I received many positive comments and feedback, and more people told me their stories, shared information with me, which I want to share, of course, in this video with you guys, which explains the one or other behavior.
If you're going to continue to interrupt me, I'll terminate the interview. I just want to say, I like to offend people. This says Zahal, the Israeli Defense Forces. I am Jewish. If you don't like Israel, go f yourself in the lowest hole of hell.
And I'm not here to really discredit all people, you know, because I used to be as well like one of you guys out there and always looked up to those coaches, always looked up to them as superstars. Unfortunately, the more deep I got into this community, the longer I'm in, the more I figured out that it's a big facade. I'm long enough in this industry. I've seen many things. I know many coaches personally. So I'm sure, without sounding arrogant, that I know much more than you out there, you know. And please stay away with your cognitive dissonance, you know, just because you think somebody is the founder of something, which he was a student of from those guys who founded actually NLP and he just took it and implemented it into game, doesn't make him the best. Just because you were the first guy who ever kicked into football doesn't make you the best football player ever. Things are evolving, things get better, guys and players are getting better. If you don't even know how we got together, because he gave me credits on a dating coach panel.
Because those people will upgrade you, you know?
You're smart, and you're really good with metaphors. I like you.
Where dear Ross Jeffries, your superstar who is still doing his breakfast dates.
I have found the #1 best thing to do is to meet him for breakfast. If you go out on a formal date, then they have their checklist cooking. Does this guy have this? Does this guy? And there's a certain pressure to perform for a woman, even for a guy, not just for men, but for women.
Was wondering how I and another coach can get straight home dates. And this is how we came along, you know, and he was giving me credits. And I texted him up if he would be up for an interview. Beforehand, to prepare myself for this interview, I was reading his books. And then I was like, what the is this guy writing about, you know? I was shocked, really. And I'm not sure if you guys read ever his, for example, first book. But I'm sure you didn't, or most of you didn't. Because when I released the video about it, many of you guys were shocked, you know, that he preaches, for example, to cry in front of a girl when receiving LMR. It means last minute resistance. I mean, and more... things and more out there, because I was just like you guys. I had zero doubts that this won't work or this guy is not legit in a slightest way, you know. I didn't even go through his material because I undoubtedly thought that this guy is a legend. And yeah, many things came out to the limelight, of course, after releasing the video. I was the first one calling him out. I actually talked to John Anthony when I discovered that he's on his team. And as well, I have a good link to many OG coaches out there. For example, Shawn Michael, who was a student of Mystery, who was as well co-coaching with him at the Venusian Arts, who told me as well some things about Ross Jeffries, you know, that he was hiring, or he was basically collaborating with the Venusian artists, like Matador, like Mystery, Shawn Michael, etc., because he himself was never an infield coach. He was just preaching and let those other guys do the dirty work for him. Let the other guys do infields and cold approaches for him, because he was never an infield coach. And what of a coach are you if you're just preaching, but you're never in field, you know? And that's why I wrote with those old school coaches from the Venusian Arts, and they told me, have you ever seen Ross Jeffries posting some receipts, having some receipts? The only receipts you're having are those 2 girls in your first book you paid for. And you're a notorious liar as well, telling someone private that your lay count is 100, and then in the other video you tell it suddenly after 1 or 2 months it's 400.
My lay count is under, believe it or not, it's under 100.
I don't think you keep track, right? About how many girls you've been with?
No.
Multi-hundreds. For sure.
Somewhere around 400. That's not a big number, but you have to understand, I'm a serial monogamist.
Well, you know, I've slept with over 5,000 women.
mean, imagine being 40 years in game and banging only 100 girls and calling it speed seduction. 40 years for 100 girls. Like, students coming to me get those numbers in 2 years and not 40 years. And then the guys come, of course, with some contradictory excuses. One guy, for example, writes, hey, Ross Jeffries is and was always this relationship type of guy. Whereas the other guy writes, Ross Jeffries is about hump and dump. So what's the truth now? And you're 65 years old, man, and you're telling me you had a 29-year-old girlfriend. Yeah, it lasted a couple months. You told me yourself, you know. And where is she now? Where is she? Why are girls not staying with you? You know, you want to become like the Ross Jeffries when you're 65, you know, this hump and dump. The only pussy you can keep, my friend, are those cats. You're nothing but a male Karen. That's it.
I'm a cat daddy, and my new cat, Lyle, is here. She's a big fat black cat.
Did you know that Ross Jeffries is bipolar? No? Well, me neither. But a guy wrote me this, he admitted it to his students, so that justifies some actions in the interview actually, which I didn't even know about. But there are two questions popping up in my head after hearing this. Number one, I cannot be even mad, you know, if a sick person calls me out during the interview, if a sick person behaves like this. On the second, I ask myself, if you have such big psychological problems, how able are you to teach, especially vulnerable, poor guys coming to you? Imagine, one guy wrote about he joined the course and Ross Jeffries humiliated him in front of everybody to the point where he bring the cat and start mimicking the cat saying, dummy, dummy. I was in shock to see that. I purchased his product 3 months before that and immediately asked for a refund because I thought it's humiliating. And yeah, it's just sick, really. Using your sick patterns against guys. I mean, how sick of a person are you? Really, man. At that time, his best students stopped talking with him because he also humiliated him. So you can see even his own students who pay him money getting humiliated by Ross Jeffries. You throw students out of your courses who paid you money to help them, to teach them. You use those tactics, those dark triads to form a group, to gather a group and attack one single guy in this group. And another guy wrote me that he wants to control the interview and he did those NLP tactics against me. Man, you don't have to do anything against me. I'm the interviewer, you know, I came as a neutral person because you gave me credits, we set up this interview and now you want to kind of game me. There are many coaches out there using NLP and even his students actually are better, or you should take better advice from his students than him because his students are way better than him. His students are leaving him, everybody leaves him. Your girls are leaving you, your students are leaving you, nobody wants you, man. And that's why you're bitter old grandpa. And that's why all the OG coaches hate you, everybody hates you. Neil Strauss your girl. And that's why you're still bitter after I don't know how many years pass by, 20 plus years, 20, 25 years, and you're still a bitter old man. Many people wrote that they were disappointed that I even did the interview as soon as they found out. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm deeply sorry. I was disappointed in myself, trust me guys. And I'm doing the shit work for you so you don't have to go through it yourself, you know, with your hard-earned money. At least I took your advice. I never released this interview, man, because it was pure really. All the value I was thinking myself during the whole interview, I was thinking myself, okay, what the is this? Where am I, you know? I have to drop like value instead of you because you have nothing to offer. You talked about some NLP stuff, which is so common. I wanted to shift the interview in a better direction, but there was no value to gain. Zero. Blocking me after you get a really nice comment that I was disappointed about the interview. What movie is this, man, really? Somebody wrote, if you watch other interviews, you try to establish a frame from the beginning by correcting or attacking the interviewer. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck are you playing, you know? You don't have to attack me. I'm like, we're doing an interview here, and keep your little NLP techniques for the women out there. But I cannot even take you serious because you have deep psychological problems. You have to treat professionally. So I don't want to come against you, man. Like, how can you, after this, even defend somebody who is a notorious liar, who throws guys out of his course, who humiliates guys, who cannot even keep a girl for longer than a couple months, who is bipolar, who shouldn't even coach guys because he needs coaching himself. His methods and all his strategies obviously don't work, not even for him, as we can see. And you're still following him because he was one of the first guys. And here is a personal advice from me, you know, please take it. First of all, get yourself professional therapy. You know, you're a sick man, you're old sick man, let's face the facts. And second, please find yourself a wifey who takes or who can take all your, you know, because obviously meditation, your anger release doesn't help to that point anymore. Try to get a woman, wife her up, so at least you have somebody who visits you in the elderly home, really. But don't hate on the new generation just because they're doing better than you. If you want to learn how to get and keep women in a healthy way without following a grumpy old grandpa, then make sure to book a 30-minute call with me and we will get you there. Of course, we wish Ross Jeffries all the best.
Yourself.